Let me tell you something that's going to be uncomfortable to hear. She's not acting differently because of stress. She's not distant because of work. She's not protective of her phone because she values privacy. She's hiding something. And deep down, you already know it. There's a version of your girlfriend, your wife, your partner that you see every day, the one who sits across from you at dinner, the one who sleeps beside you at night, the one who says, "I love you" before hanging up the phone. And then there's the other one, the one who exists in text threads you'll never see, in locations you'll never know about, in conversations that get deleted before you even knew they happened. The one who has learned to compartmentalize so well that she can look you in the eyes and lie without flinching. A double life doesn't announce itself with fireworks. It doesn't come with a confession or a dramatic reveal. No, it seeps in slowly, quietly. It hides in plain sight, in small behavioral shifts that seem meaningless on their own, but tell a devastating story when you finally connect the dots. And here's the thing that keeps me up at night. Most men don't connect those dots until it's too late. They dismiss the signs. They make excuses. They tell themselves they're being paranoid, insecure, crazy. And all the while, she's perfecting the art of deception right under their nose. Not you, not today. Today I'm going to walk you through the 6 changes that happen when a woman starts living a double life. These aren't theories. These aren't guesses. These are patterns I've seen over and over again. Patterns that leave a trail for anyone brave enough to follow it. Pay close attention to number 6. Because that one, that's the change most men completely misread. They think it's a good sign. They think things are getting better. And that misunderstanding, it costs them everything. I'm Amelia. Welcome to Dark Psychology. Let's pull back the curtain. Change number 1. Her phone becomes a vault. Let's start with the most obvious one, and somehow still the most ignored. Think back to a year ago, 2 years ago, whenever things still felt normal. Where was her phone? Probably on the counter, on the coffee table, charging in the kitchen. Face up, notifications popping, completely unguarded. She'd ask you to check her messages while she was in the shower. She'd hand it to you to take photos. It was just a phone, just a device, nothing worth protecting. Now where is it? In her hand. Always, in her pocket when she walks to the bathroom, face down on every surface, tucked under her pillow at night, taken into rooms she never used to bring it into. And the password? When did that change? Because it did change, didn't it? That old code you both knew, the one she never hid from you, suddenly doesn't work anymore. I updated my security settings, she says. Work made me change it. But here's what really tells the story. Watch her when a notification comes through while you're together. Does she glance at it casually, maybe even show you? Or does her hand move faster than conscious thought? Flipping it over, silencing it, angling the screen away from you. Watch her texting patterns. Does she still text openly in front of you, laughing, showing you memes and messages? Or has she become a speed typer who clears the screen the moment you walk into the room? I had a man tell me once that he knew something was wrong when he noticed his wife started taking her phone to check the mail. The mailbox was 30 feet from their front door. She couldn't be away from that device for 30 feet. That's not privacy, brother. That's protection. And the question you need to ask yourself is, protection from what? From who? A woman with nothing to hide doesn't guard her phone like it contains state secrets. A woman living a double life? That phone is her entire second world. Every message, every photo, every late-night conversation that you're not supposed to know about. It's all in there. And she knows that if you ever got your hands on it, really got into it, the life she's built with you would collapse in minutes. So she guards it, obsessively, constantly, in ways that should tell you everything you need to know. But the phone is just the beginning. The next change is harder to catch, because it happens in plain sight. Change number 2. Her schedule develops mysterious gaps. She used to be predictable, not in a boring way, in a comforting way. You knew her rhythms: work until 5 or 6, gym on Tuesdays and Thursdays, drinks with her girlfriends maybe once every couple of weeks. Sunday mornings were for coffee and laziness. You didn't track her every move because you didn't need to. Her life made sense. The pieces fit together. Now there are gaps. She's working late 3 nights a week when she used to be home by 6. There are errands that take 2 hours but she comes back with nothing. Girls' nights that suddenly happen twice a week with friends whose names you've never heard before. A new gym class that runs until 9 p.m. But her gym bag sat untouched in the closet. And when you ask about it, casually, innocently, watch her reaction. Does she answer simply and move on? Or does she over-explain? Does she get defensive? Does she turn it around on you? Why are you always checking up on me? Don't you trust me? Here's a psychological truth you need to understand. People who have nothing to hide give simple answers. I was at Sarah's. I stopped for groceries. Work ran over. Done. No drama, no defensiveness, no elaborate timelines. People who are hiding something, they either go silent or they flood you with details. They either shut down the conversation or they build a narrative so complete, so airtight, that it feels rehearsed. Because it is rehearsed. And the gaps, they have a purpose. Those missing hours aren't random. They're carved out, protected. They're the windows she's created for her other life. The phone calls she can't make around you, the meetings she can't explain, the moments she's giving to someone or something else. I've seen women create entire fictional workout routines to explain away hours. Hot yoga, they say. It's 90 minutes plus I shower there. Meanwhile, their hair is dry, their makeup is untouched, and their gym bag hasn't been opened in weeks. The schedule gaps are her double life breathing. They're the oxygen that keeps it alive. And the worst part, she's probably gotten so good at it that the lies come effortlessly now. She doesn't even hesitate anymore. The fictional schedule is as real to her as the actual one. But here's what she can't fake forever. The next change happens to her body, and she has less control over it than she thinks. Change number 3. Her appearance shifts, but not for you. This one stings. I'm warning you now. Think about how she used to dress, how she used to present herself, the effort she put in, or didn't put in, on a daily basis. Now think about what's changed. Maybe she started dressing better. New clothes, new lingerie you've caught glimpses of, but never seen worn for you. More time in front of the mirror. More attention to details. Her nails, her hair, her skin. On the surface, this seems positive, right? She's taking care of herself. She's investing in her appearance. That's healthy. But here's the question that should be burning in your mind. Who is it for? Because when a woman is dressing up for her partner, you notice. She shows you. She asks your opinion. Does this look okay? Which earrings should I wear? She wants your eyes on her because your attention is the point. When a woman is dressing up for someone else, you find out differently. You notice she looks stunning on a random Tuesday, but she's just going to work. You notice she's wearing perfume to go grocery shopping. You notice she's shaved and groomed and polished on days when nothing special is happening. Nothing special with you, anyway. And then there's the flip side. Maybe around you, she's stopped trying entirely. Sweatpants every night. Hair unwashed. The same oversized t-shirt for the 3rd day in a row. She used to care about how she looked when you were together. Now she saves that energy. She's rationing her effort. And you're no longer the investment that gets her best. Here's a detail that came up in a conversation I'll never forget. A man told me his wife had started going to the gym religiously. Every day. Sometimes twice. She was getting in incredible shape. He thought it was great, he was proud of her. Until he noticed something strange. She never wanted to be intimate with him after the gym. I'm too tired, she'd say. I just want to shower and sleep. But she wasn't too tired to spend an hour doing her hair and makeup before she went. Who goes to the gym in full makeup? Someone who isn't just going to the gym. The appearance shift is one of the hardest signs to confront because it seems so innocent. She's just taking care of herself. She's just feeling good. You don't want to be the controlling partner who questions her wanting to look nice. But you need to ask yourself, does she light up when you notice her? Or does your compliment land flat while she's clearly waiting for validation from somewhere else? A woman living a double life puts effort into the life she's excited about. The question is which life that is, but appearance is external. The next change happens somewhere deeper, in the emotional infrastructure of your relationship. Change number 4. Intimacy becomes performance or disappears entirely. Let's talk about something that lives in the unspoken spaces of your relationship. Closeness, connection, the physical and emotional intimacy that separates a partnership from a roommate situation. When a woman is living a double life, this is where the cracks show most clearly. And it typically goes one of two ways. The first way, she disappears. Not physically, she's still there, still in the bed, still in the house, but she's unreachable in the ways that matter. The casual touches stop, the hand on your back as she walks by, the way she used to curl into you on the couch, the random kisses that meant nothing and everything. Gone. Physical closeness becomes something she endures rather than enjoys. You reach for her and she stiffens. You try to connect and she's not in the mood, again, and again, and again. You start to feel like a stranger in your own relationship, like you need permission to exist in her space, like your touch has become an inconvenience. That's not just distance, that's withdrawal, and it usually means her emotional, and possibly physical, energy is being spent elsewhere. There's only so much intimacy a person can give, and if she's giving it to someone else, there's nothing left for you but the scraps. The second way is more confusing. Sometimes when a woman is hiding something, intimacy doesn't disappear. It transforms. It becomes more. Suddenly she's initiating. Suddenly there's intensity that wasn't there before. New ideas, new energy, a fire that seems to have appeared out of nowhere. And you might think this is great. You might think whatever rough patch you were in has passed. You might think she's reconnecting with you. But something feels off. It feels performative, mechanical. Like she's checking a box rather than connecting with you. Like her body is present, but her mind is somewhere else entirely. And here's the psychological reality. Sometimes increased physical attention is guilt. It's compensation. It's a woman trying to convince herself, and you, that everything is fine while she's actively betraying you. It's the behavioral equivalent of bringing you flowers while hiding a lie. And sometimes new intensity comes from new inspiration, techniques learned elsewhere, confidence built with someone else, passion ignited by another person and brought home like a souvenir. Either way, whether she's disappeared or suddenly reappeared with suspicious enthusiasm, the intimacy has changed, and changes like that don't happen in a vacuum. But here's the sign that really throws men off. The next one seems positive on the surface, and that's exactly what makes it so dangerous. Change number 5. She becomes unusually generous or agreeable. This is the trap. This is the one that catches good men off guard every single time. She's being nice, nicer than usual, agreeable, easy. That edge she used to have, gone. Those little fights you used to get into about nothing, they've stopped. She doesn't push back anymore. She doesn't challenge you. She just agrees. Whatever you want. That sounds fine. Sure, I don't mind. You're right. She lets things slide that would have started a war 6 months ago. She's accommodating in ways that feel unfamiliar. She might even be doing more chores, more favors, more gestures that seem thoughtful. And your first instinct is relief. Finally, you think. Finally, she's being reasonable. Finally, things are calm. Maybe you were the problem all along. Maybe she's just matured. Maybe the relationship has turned a corner. Brother, I need you to hear me. This is not peace. This is guilt. When a woman is living a double life, she carries a weight you can't see. And one of the ways that weight manifests is through compensation. She's not being nice because she's happy. She's being nice because she's hiding something terrible, and the guilt is eating her alive. She's trying to balance the scales in her own mind. Yes, I'm betraying him, but look, I'm also being so good to him. I'm not a bad person. See how agreeable I am. See how much I'm giving. It's unconscious most of the time. She's not doing the math out loud. But somewhere in her psyche, she's trying to pay off a debt you don't even know exists. And here's the other layer. Sometimes the agreeableness isn't about guilt. Sometimes it's about avoidance. She doesn't want to fight with you because fights require engagement. Fights require her to be present, emotionally invested, connected to the outcome. And she's not. She's already mentally checked out. She's already building something else. So she takes the path of least resistance. She agrees. She accommodates. She gives you whatever you want because she simply doesn't care enough to resist anymore. She's not fighting for the relationship because she's not planning to stay in it. That eerie calm, that unusual generosity, it's not growth, it's goodbye. And it brings us to the final change. The one that most men completely misinterpret. The one that seals the fate of relationships that might have been saved. Change number 6. She stops fighting and starts planning. This is the one. This is the sign that separates men who wake up in time from men who wake up blindsided with divorce papers and an empty closet. Think about the fights you used to have. Maybe they were exhausting. Maybe they were painful. Maybe you dreaded them. The raised voices, the circular arguments, the tears, the accusations, the hours spent trying to resolve something that felt unresolvable. But at least she was there. At least she was engaged. At least she cared enough to be angry. Now? Nothing. You bring up something that would have caused a 3-day argument a year ago. She shrugs. Okay. You confront her about something you've noticed. She doesn't defend herself. She doesn't get upset. She just says, I'm sorry you feel that way. You try to start a conversation about the relationship, where it's going, what's wrong, how to fix it, and she gives you nothing. I don't know. I need time to think. Can we talk about this later? But later never comes. And you might think this is mature. You might think she's finally learned to let things go. You might think the relationship is healthier now because there's no conflict. You're wrong. A woman in love will fight. She'll get angry. She'll be frustrated and messy and difficult because she still believes in a future where things are better. She still has hope that fighting through the hard parts will lead somewhere worth going. A woman who's done. She doesn't have the energy to fight anymore. She doesn't see the point. In her mind, the relationship is already over. She just hasn't told you yet. And here's what's happening in that silence. She's planning. While you think things are calm, she's researching apartments. While you think she's accepted your apology, she's talking to lawyers. While you think the peace means progress, she's slowly moving money, gathering documents, building an exit strategy so complete that when she finally pulls the trigger, you won't have time to react. She's been mourning this relationship for months, maybe years. You're just catching up. I've heard this story so many times it haunts me. I had no idea, he says. I thought we were doing better. She seemed so calm, so accepting. And then one day she just said it was over, like she'd been planning it forever. She had. She was. The silence wasn't peace. It was preparation. The calm wasn't contentment. It was resignation. The lack of fighting wasn't growth. It was surrender. And by the time he realized what that silence really meant, she was already gone. Emotionally, legally, completely.